Hey, Lamont Collins, Roots 101 African American Museum. We're on Deeply Rooted this morning, and let me tell you, we're surrounded, or I'm surrounded by black energy, black excellence. Today I'm bringing you three young brothers. The other one's going to speak. I know at least I have two that's going to speak to what we're doing today. And I'll let them introduce themselves to you, and then we'll go get started. Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Sean Somerville. I am with Ebony Green's apparel brand, just recently started, but I'm also a community advocate here. I work with Louisville Central Community Center on 13th and Ali. I'm also working with my buddy sitting next to me, and he can tell you about himself. And I am also the local site host ambassador for the African American Golf Expo.
Hi, my name is Gregory Mack. I'm the Du Bois Middle and High School golf coach. Started that program this year. I also am part of the PGA Hope program for the veterans, being a former Marine, and very excited to be here and talk about the interest in bringing the game to young black men.
Well, cool. I'm glad you guys are here. Golf is so important in so many ways. The community, the networking you do, we know that's why a lot of it started. But even the history, there's some great black players historically have done great. And everybody does, a lot of people didn't know that Joe Lewis was a professional golf player at one time.
Yes, he was.
But let's talk about Louisville. Let's talk about what you're doing. Sean, when I first met you at Roots 101, I think that's the first time we met, we talked about the expo, the Black Golf Expo that you guys were involved in bringing to Louisville. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, real short and sweet. I'm part of what's called the BTAC, which is the Louisville Tourism Advisory Council. It's a Black Tourist Advisory Council that Louisville Tourism started, and under the leadership of Cleo Battle. And he brought a bunch of people together and said, "Hey, I want to create an opportunity and show the outside regions that Louisville is a place for tourism, and we have things here that would be interesting to black people, the community." So being on that board, it created some ideas. I reached out to Jim Beatty, who is the president of Jim Beatty Golf Ventures, who also owns the African American Golf Expo. Asked them how we could get involved. At that time, the first year, their inaugural year was in Atlanta. I wasn't able to attend. Saw it. Timing was just right. He said, "Well, I'm actually looking for a host city now." I said, "Well, hey, can we be considered? What do we need to do?" We put all the paperwork together. I got with Louisville Tourism. They helped build that RFP. We submitted it. He came in town, did some visits, selected us for year 2023, and that was in year 2021, going into 22. So 22, they went to North Carolina. I attended that, continued to build relationships, and now I'm actually sitting on the planning committee for the 2023 Expo that'll be here in Louisville in August of this year.
Beautiful. I mean, I'm part of the BTEC also. I don't attend much because I have some issues off the camera that I like to talk about. I think, we need to be involved, but we also need to be a coalition and a consultant piece to everything we do. I don't think all black people's opinions come for free. And I think every other person don't look like us get the role of consultant, and they get paid for their services. Mm-hmm. So that's my thing, and I've said it to everyone, that we have to be collectively understanding how the game's worked. And if the game works that way and dollars on the table, our suggestions, our market is worth of value in dollars. So, I just thought I'd throw it out there because I always do. And I have to be true to myself on that.
Absolutely.
But we need black people called consultants and not volunteers and not committee members. And we have to be serious about that, because if we're not serious about it, it will never change. But go ahead. We're talking about what you got coming. Give us an idea how many people you think will be coming to the expo and what the expo will do.
So year one, they had about 300 or 400 people attend with a $700,000 impact to the city. Year two, those numbers declined slightly, but it was still in that ballpark. And year three, we're anticipating that and more. We have the support and the backing of Louisville Tourism. We're going to work with them closely to help do marketing, guerrilla marketing, reach other markets outside of our community, or meaning locally. We're going to hit other regions, all the larger cities. And as most people know, Louisville is a unique city because it's a 5 or 6 hour drive from several major other markets,
Okay.
being Indianapolis, Chicago, Nashville, so on and so on and so forth. So Ohio. So we have that advantage. They have a direct connection to those markets. So we're going to actually do some marketing out to those groups as well. We are building a team, the committee, the planning committee. We've had our second meeting this actually last night, and so we're starting to synergize those ideas and starting to create those opportunities to build those connections and relationships to do a good guerrilla marketing strategy.
Okay, let's talk about the local affiliations with golf. Like you're at the boys' school, which I love the boys' school. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing something with you guys along with Grace James from a Black History perspective of debate type of thing we're going to be doing with them. But I love the boys. When I visited the young men, I mean, they were outstanding. They were energized and learning in the community. And so I love the boys. So I even love the idea of you guys putting a golf team together. So how did that happen?
Well, actually, it's a good friend of yours, Tremel, really got the idea started.
Coach Tremel.
Coach Tremel.
Yeah.
And he brought me in and said, "Hey, Greg Mack, this guy, he's going to bring this energy to this program." I think because Coach Tremel has a lot of different areas that he's so busy in. He's like, "Well, I can't give it full focus, but whatever you need from me, knowledge, contacts, I'm going to give it to you."
Yeah, he's that guy.
He is that guy. And so when he was able to bring me into it and we got it started, the biggest thing that we had to do was get out of the mindset of these young men that the only avenue of achievement is through basketball and football. And that's understandable. When you come from a community, that's easy access for us. Golf, having access to golf courses, having access to equipment is something in factor. But what I try to teach my young men is this. Through our history, we've always had obstacles. And even going further, you're going to have obstacles. And this is something that you'll learn in the game of golf because you can hit a great shot in golf and know the next shot might not be as good. That's an obstacle. You got to overcome that. And so when I get them young men, I not only teach them the game of golf, but I teach them about being a young, respectful Black man, carrying yourself with pride. Because if you look back through our history, we were distinguished. And it goes back to kind of what I heard you say earlier. Don't let everybody else create your narrative. Let's create our own narrative. And I think we did that this coming year with WB Du Bois. But we still need that interest and that connection to help us take it from the introduction stage to where we want to go.
Yeah, and you talk about Coach Tremel. And the reason I met Dennis when I was playing football at University of Louisville, he was our track coach. And so he would always talk about, hey, come on to the track, that kind of thing. But he was always a mentor for everybody. And I had a nephew that played golf. I think I just told his name was Teddy Collins. And Teddy was, a phenomenal golfer. He's won national awards. And they called him the next Tiger Woods because he was biracial. And he went to Stanford University, played on the national team at Stanford. And like I told you, he just stopped playing because his sister passed away her second year in medical school, so he just lost interest in the game. But what I saw about the game is the area what elevated him. He was a great student. So because he was a great student, he had great opportunities for scholarships, right? So he was Stanford. You name every major school in this country, he had opportunity. Now he's the assistant CFO of SeatGeek, which is a company out of San Francisco. Mm-hmm. But the doors of Little Teddy, we call him Little Teddy, open when he was here in Louisville. He became like the mentor for young men that wanted to play golf. Like Andrew Pleasant and a few local guys here that played on the college level was all because of my nephew Teddy. He loved the game, traveled all over the world with the game. So I understand the importance of the game. But I understand the importance of people like Coach Tremel, Coach Smith. I don't know if you knew Coach Smith before he passed away. He was one of the other golfers down there. But anyway, it was just, when they brought Tiger Woods in one year, it was just phenomenal. People everywhere. Tiger was hitting shots over the bridge and under the bridge, showing the strength of what he did and how he could drive the ball. But what you guys are doing just locally and nationally, because, Sean, what you're working on really is a national play, right? And
yes,
it's a national play to bring players in or people that are consumers. What are you guys driving for?
So actually, we're trying to hit them all, and I know that some people, business people, say that's not the best strategy, but it's a necessity. We have the industry professionals that'll be coming in. We'll have the actual some golf professionals that'll be coming in. We'll have the novice golfer that just wants to come in and see what the new equipment is and how this works out and so forth. We also have educational form part of that expo, so it'll give non-golfers and novice golfers an opportunity to understand the industry and what opportunities lie in the industry. Golf is a national or globally, and I may get the numbers not exactly right, but I think it's an $84 billion industry globally. And then within the U.S., it's about a $22-24 billion industry. And we don't make up a large percentage of that. So, and that's players, industry, and it's no different than any other professional sport out there. The traditionals that Coach Max was talking about, we all gravitate to that because it's easy, but they have all these ancillary resources that they need and require, and golf has the same thing. But in addition to that, golf has a longer opportunity and longer lasting opportunity for the participants. Right. A lot of times they say you can play golf from 8 to 80. Your traditional sports, most people are retiring in their 30s, somewhere in their 30s. Maybe you get lucky and you get to your 40s, but after that, what are they doing? They're playing golf.
Yeah, I think the drawback, especially in the black community, is the cost of the game.
Agree.
So that's why it's so important, like Coach Mack and them, to have a resource for kids to play, but also resources where they can go play.
Yes, absolutely.
So you guys could change the whole dilemma, not dilemma, but the whole opportunity for young black kids to play.
Absolutely. And and of course we'll partner with when we come in, we bring things in. We're going to partner with as many people or collaborate with many local businesses and people that we can. Obviously, Shawnee and First Tee, first one's on the list. We got to get with Juan and Deshaun and and we actually setting up some meetings to start talking about those opportunities.
Well, I remember when you came in the museum, just how God works. I had a gentleman that was in the museum that was going to bring a tournament here. Remember the guy that I can't remember the name of?
I do remember that.
But he was here to set that up. Matter of fact, he moved here. Like a snowbird. I got his car in the car, and we talked. And during that week, Steph Curry and his family was coming in, and they came to Roots because they had did a golf tournament. And it's the first time he was hearing about them coming, and it was. The kid that played for Louisville, the shooting guard that played with Steph Curry is his brother-in-law. Oh. Damon Lee. So Damon Lee came in and he had his event at Roots 101, and he brought the NBA trophy. We took pictures with the trophy. Yeah. And I didn't get to meet Stephen Curry because he came in late on a flight, but I did meet Dale Curry. Okay. And Dale was cool and the whole family. And so that was a real cool thing for Roots 101. But it was just amazing that all that happened in 1 week. Right. I had the guy coming here that's talking about his tournament and how he recruits black golfers to play around the country or whatever. And then Steph and them show up and they're doing a tournament to help raise money for black organizations in the city. So that's one thing I can say about Roots. It seemed like we're always placed in the right time and right place. I always say it's our house, our community house, and it just works. But with the golf, I also heard you talk about merchandise. You guys are making golf clothing. I didn't hear that right.
Well, that would be me.
Okay.
I embarked on an entrepreneurial journey to start my own apparel line. It's what I have on now. It's called Ebony Greens. Okay. It is inspired in African prints, but it'll be on and off the course apparel. It will help to just change the look and dynamic of Ebony Green. Ebony Greens.
Love it. Okay.
The dynamic of the golfer, and also, and I believe, to encourage more of our community, more young men and women to participate in golf, because there's this stigma and they have this mental barrier of why they can and can't. Is that people like to dress nice. Fashion can be a conduit to get them interested.
Look good, play good.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Ebony Green. There's some history to golf here in Louisville. Charlie Johnson's brother was a professional golfer. I think he played back with Charles Stafford?
Charlie
Syphilis, right.
Syphilis,
who was one. And when I came up, it was always Lee Elder. And then there was another, what was the other black gentleman that was
Calvin Pete.
And Calvin Peak kind of changed the whole image of black golf.
Sure
I think he had a gold in his mouth.
Yeah.
He was, he laid it out there like, I'm gonna play my way and do what I do. And he was a heck of a golfer too.
Well, him and Ted Rhodes, because Ted Rhodes
Yes.
was considered the best dressed golfer.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
So
okay,
yeah,
cool.
they both did some dynamic things. And
Okay.
then just over in Canton, Ohio, you have how can I forget? Started their own Black Clearview Golf Course in Canton. His daughter, she's running. It'll come to me.
Okay.
But yeah,
play for Cleveland Cavaliers. J.R. Reed
J.R. Reed,
is now the golf coach at North Carolina.
he's a
A&T.
golf
well,
player.
he's a player.
Oh, he's a player. Okay.
He's a player.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He
How,
started
how did he do?
I hadn't kept up.
I haven't
but I
kept
know,
up
but,
either.
but he was progressing. I do know when he first started, he was starting out a little slow, and then he started progressing and getting much better. So,
Okay.
but I just didn't keep up to see
Yeah,
where.
but
he
I know
finished out.
HBCUs
Yeah.
are really trying to focus on opportunities in golf too, and that's something they never did before because they know the opportunities in it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And well, one of the unique things is about here, to your point about Louisville being big in golf, it's really huge in golf. I mean, number one, we have Valhalla, professional golf course, championship rated golf course, PGA. And although it was recently sold, we have a black owner as a part of that golf course.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Jimmy Bridger.
exactly. So that's historic. In 24, there'll be the PGA here, Championship PGA. The APGA just played there last year. They probably will play again this year, which is the Advocates for Professional Golf Association, which helps young men and women get into professional tour areas. So there's a lot. And in addition to that, I know we talked about it a minute ago, Joe Lewis, who was a big golfer. The guy who used to, oh man, how can I forget this? He plays golf here. His brother he was one of the heavyweight champions. He boxed, and then he boxed Ali in the 70s.
Oh, you're talking about Jimmy? You're talking about Jimmy Ellis?
Ellis. Yeah. So he boxed Ali, and he was a big golfer.
Yeah, Jimmy.
And he boxed with Joe. Golf with Joe. a lot.
Yeah, well, see, the neighborhood I grew up in high school was called Montclair.
Okay.
And Montclair was a black neighborhood built by black developers, black contractors. And the neighborhood's full of black doctors, black lawyers. I mean, it was the Huxtable of the, it was all that neighborhood. I loved the experience when I lived there. But we had two black champions, heavyweight champions in the neighborhood. We had Jimmy Ellis, who lived on Nashan, and we had Muhammad Ali bought his mom a house on Verona Way.
Oh, wow.
So they would come in town and ride our mini bikes and all that stuff. So it was a great experience.
Wow.
And Mr. Ellis was one of the most spiritual. I mean, he'd be in the backyard. He had a gospel quartet, and he would be, back there singing. He was a spiritual, good brother. And everybody he touched is like, come on in, this is our house. Mm-hmm. They're the first people I know would go to Winn-Dixie or A&P and come out with a $400 grocery bill, and share it with the neighborhood. He was just that kind of guy. And we talk about, good, dress good, feel good type of thing in sports. Now, how are you guys recruiting kids, or you're not on that end? Are you recruiting kids to play other than the boys, like down at Shawnee?
Well, we talked about
course.
Sean and I. Our ultimate goal is to be able to take our program, and we got to lift that the boys' name and it title up so that other schools within the Jefferson County kind of look at the program, because there are really only about 13 schools that actively have middle school, and there's more schools with the high school, but what we're focusing mostly on is the middle school, getting them started young with an opportunity to play golf. And we talk about sometimes God puts people in your life in certain places to bring things. The fact that we all have a common bond with Coach Tramiel. How I came, and Sean and I came, he heard about the boys golf, and he decided he stepped out and said, hey, let me go step out on faith and let's see these guys. And then when he came, we talk about look good, dress good. What we tried to do is we try to bring a little gentlemanly swagger to what we do.
Right.
I mean, when we get on the course, we chant. Okay. I say, who are we? We say, the boys. Who are we? The boys. We are one pride. We are one brotherhood. And then we break off and they go to their tee spots. And they go and they play. And I said, even when we play, you show them who you are, but understand we're beyond what they think we are.
That's right.
And so John, when he saw that, he was like, I want to bring that in. And look, hey, by the way, I'm starting my own line. And we've done some markups, how we could put it together, talk to the AD at Du Bois. And I was like, you know what? We could possibly do that.
Okay.
We could share that on there. Because I want, basketball players got a little swag. Football players got a little swag.
Yeah.
Well, you can have swag and still be that gentleman that is expected of us in golf.
Yeah.
So what we do now is I'm there in the schools constantly talking to young men. Because, if you look at some of even the best golfers in the world, regardless of black or white. I mean, Tiger's the exception. I mean, he's 6'1", 200 some pounds. But the average golfer is normally around 5'8", they're 155 pounds. And so...
But they have gotten bigger over the years, right?
And they gotten bigger.
And they do the weights and they do...
And that's due to Tiger.
Yeah.
Because when they saw how dominant he was, and it becomes more than just being
became
a guy.
became an athlete.
Yes, you
and
had to
do
become
everything
an
to be an athlete. That's what Tiger...
And the thing about it is, we had 8 middle school golfers. We had 2 high school golfers. They could have played basketball or football, but they focused on golf. And when we first went into it, our idea was, you know what? In 3 years, I want them to look over at the boys and say, oh, yeah, we better watch out for them.
Right.
Surprisingly to me, as we began and they trained, believe me, we were putting in 8 hours a week, which I want to say this. One, thanks to Deshaun and Shawnee for we don't become as successful as we were in our first year without Shawnee Golf Course.
Yeah, you gotta have a course to play on.
And Juan Mitchell to allow us to get on their course and train our young men.
Let me go here. This is what's so historical about downtown Louisville. Even though it's predominantly black now, but it's probably the only place to go in the country where 2 18-hole golf courses and it's in black neighborhoods. And that traditionally has been going on a long time. That's why there's so many black golfers here that are good at the game, because we could play on those courses over the South. I can't think of the year that Chickasaw opened up to black golfers, but it was early enough that we could get in the game and understand the game. But the cool thing about downtown Louisville, we had 2 major golf courses, and then we had an amusement park. That was unheard of in the black community. You had 2 golf courses and an amusement park for the kids to go to. And just because of the rotation of the race riots, things changed and moved out, but the golf courses stayed. But we've always had opportunity to play golf in this city, which a lot of cities can't say. Our black kids could always get to that golf course and be accepted if we could play. And that's pretty cool to know.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. That's pretty neat.
Oh, yeah.
But I knew the history of, a little bit of Shawnee, but not to that detail. Wow, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, Shawnee and Chickasaw was like, they were major courses, 18 holes, in the inner city. And then, let me go back what you guys are doing. So tell me, or tell the people that's listening, is the goal to improve kids? I know it is for you, Mac, but your goal with your merchandise, is it to get out there and compete with Nike, or is it just exposure? What really drives both of you? Where are we at with this?
Wow. So for me, it's, as I stated, it's about drawing our community up to the game, giving them a conduit, giving them a reason to pique their interest. Wow, that looks neat. I think I might want to wear that. Additionally, you can wear it off the course. So those that don't golf, hey, I'm going to wear that and I'm going to drive around. And then people say, man, where'd you get that from? Oh, wow. Man, that's golf apparel, because that actually happens today. I mean, people wearing Nikes and different athletic gear.
Well, excuse me. We will take some Root shirts when you get going. I just thought I'd throw that out there, So we like to look good, feel good too.
Copy that.
All right,
Copy that. Right. So that happens today. So that is part of it. But my really driving force is to get us connected to the industry. And that's why I wanted to connect with Jim and connect with Jim Beatty and the African American Golf Expo, because that's a national thing and it's bouncing to different cities. And they have next year already identified. Can't say it yet, but they have next city identified. So it gets around and touches all these different points and gets us exposure and gets us created. And, fortunately, it's the time right now. It's just our time, and we need to take advantage of that. So I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to try to help it grow the game, get us more involved in whatever capacity people want to get involved in.
Well, let me ask you this. Mac, you at Du Bois. Are you pouring time to other young men, or just focus on the boys right now?
Right now, I'm focused on the boys, but Sean and I, we've talked about where we would like to see it. We would like to see that we could pull young black men, young boys, into the game of golf, but then giving them a conduit to take it further. Let's get it to the Centrals. You know, a lot of my young men, because we're still building on W Du Bois. I mean, right now they only go 6 to 10. Next year they go 6 to 11. So it's still a brand new school. And so we would like to see it go into have like you come from Du Bois, you filter some of your talents into a Central. From there, maybe we even talked about maybe connecting with Pastor Cosby. Maybe let's do Simmons. Let's create an avenue to help them. We talked about the industry, the golf industry, that we can show these young men, look, beyond playing the game, there's other avenues. You know, you can connect with the Golf House Kentucky and the PGA, and there's careers in those that we don't take advantage of because we don't have the knowledge of. It's not needed aware. When I was very active in the 100 Black Men when I first got here,
You know, I was president of 100 Black Men from 90 something when 100 Black Men were. Mark can tell you when 100 Black Men was on everybody's voice is when I was part of it. I mean, we did, and I'm proud of that part, from the mentoring part to corporation parts. That's what we were part of. But I didn't mean to drop you off. You said 100. I said, hey, let me go to 100.
Yeah.
But
so I'm a brother too. So
okay. Well, I want to see you guys start doing more. You know, the legacies. Hey, start jumping back out.
And for me, and that's a side note there. It's kind of, I have a poster that I have that's in my office, and it says, "What they see
is what they be,
is what they become."
Yeah.
And so we have to give them. We have to let them see us.
Okay.
Not just in the business world or in the athlete. You know, they really want to, as you say, create a narrative and have us just. Well, success only comes as a basketball player, or a football player, but they don't highlight that during times it's like we had professionals and business people when we're totally against them. Okay. And what I tell my young men, look, if these men were able to do it in those times, you have a bigger opportunity now. Okay,
we're about to get out of here, so I have to take it back from you, but it's never enough time. There's never enough time when I'm talking to positive brothers trying to make a difference. So we have to get out of here now. This is Lamont Collins, Deeply Rooted, Roots 101 African American Museum. Legacies matter, and so do you. Be blessed.